Alright, I got some music on. Happy Tuesday. I took the day off. Gotta get my butt in gear because I have 2 more games coming in this room here by Thanksgiving, supposedly. So I got the playfield completely stripped down. We're gonna keep cleaning that today. What else? Yeah, I don't know if you can see, there's a bunch of posts up at the top there that I have to go back on. We're still kind of getting everything cleaned up. But I've been picking away at it. I have about 65 hours in at work last week, so I'm just kind of pick away at it here and there. I didn't have enough time to make a video. Got to figure out where my batteries are from being charged up. We'll get some lights going here. We'll find some extra tools. We're going to get working on the chime unit. I don't think I've done a video dedicated to a Williams chime unit. I've got plastic pieces here that need to be cleaned up. Now, I should have a rebuild kit for a chime unit. I've never done one of those before, period. So let's see if I can find that, right? And then we'll get started. Alright, got a few supplies, a few extra tools we might need. I do need a coil eventually, so we'll get on that. Yeah, when we got this game in, there were some parts missing. I don't like these little rods here because you basically have to destroy them to remove them. I mean, if you're careful you can recover them, but they never kind of go on the same way again. So I'm just kind of looking at the way one of these is built. This is pretty much the only complete one, so I'm probably going to do this one last, and we can use it as a comparison for the other two. But yeah, the second chime bar was completely missing when the game came in. So I think Lowe's, Home Depot, you can get chime aluminum flat. It's not called chime bar. That's not what they're made for. But just aluminum flat pieces. I don't know if anybody has them in stock, so I have a work question that's coming in. And they just said never mind. So that's cool. And I'm off today. So this is a little bit sticky because there's a vapor rust on it, but I'm trying to pry this thing up without tearing off these tabs. In fact, I think this one looks damaged. So we're gonna maybe have to drill a small hole here to kind of restrap the whole chime assembly on. So what am I doing here? That's a good question. It looks like it should just pop off, but it doesn't want to. And these pieces of metal are pretty flimsy. So, alright, here goes that little buffer piece. I think they include, yep, they include that in there. That looks kind of like a piece of shrink wrap. So, I don't know if I'm going to file something down. It's a little bit burred right there. If this is going to make much of a difference. Maybe it will. Actually, it did make a bit of a difference. Look at that, it did. So we've got that, then like a plastic spacer, and the chime piece, and then like this heat shrink tubing, and then this foam piece, and a lot of these little gaskety pieces are included. So, oh, we need to get plungers too. I don't know if these coils are functioning other than the one that's obviously burnt and cooked, but I see a piece of coil wire wrapped around that kind of was terminated here, so I don't know if we have a complete connection. It looks like we do. It looks like it was terminated and restarted. Let me just kind of lift up on that. Here it is. I don't know if you can see, but there's part of the wire, the winding string is kind of wrapped around and it just kind of ends right there, so I want to make sure it doesn't completely go nowhere. And it looks like it goes somewhere. So this coil is physically good. And there's that other strip, oh, there's like a strip of foam down here that we have to peel off too. So maybe I'm gonna let's grab this other piece off here too. I'll have to go in the garage and drill out. I'll have to drill out for our other bar right here. So this is completely bent out of shape. Much like I'll be if this doesn't go right. Oh yeah, I wonder if, let's see how it kind of bends over and then goes straight up. I wonder if somebody did that to maybe put a different chime piece in there. So let's get that fixed. Maybe kind of tighten this down, kind of bend it back. I might even put that in the vise just to kind of compress it and flatten it out. but it seems to be bent in a more appropriate direction. The nice thing about these holes is they're pretty forgiving. I mean, you have quite a bit of slop in there, and that even fits in there too. So this is the far side, that's the middle. And the only way we know that is we measure them. I mean, if you put them in the wrong order, the game is going to sound kind of funky, or it's going to sound like you're getting more points if you know what an appropriate point scorage should sound like. So let's go ahead and get a Phillips screwdriver here and get the inner piece off with the coils. Phillips right here. How are my cameras looking? Are we on pause? Nope. So I think I want to scrape that off because I want to get some new foam in there. Yeah, there's that new piece of foam. So this kit from Pinball Resource is $10. I mean, you're paying for the assembly of the kit, I'm sure. I mean, you could maybe go find some foam here, find some coil sleeves. Those coil sleeves are the better part of $1. But I mean, you figure $3 there, and you're paying for convenience. And I'm, with all the things I have going on in life right now, I'm more than happy to pay $10 for little pieces of foam and gaskets and stuff like that. Okay, there goes the bottom. So let's line those two up there. Well, we got to get plungers. I think I already said that. So those are the outsides and the inside because the sleeve is broken off. I'm going to set that aside because that's done for. I'm trying to talk over a lady singing to me, so she has a nice voice. Okay, so I think from this perspective here, I have a pretty good comfort level for where this has to go, so I'm going to take it off too. If we're taking it apart this far, let's clean it. Now in other games I use like zip ties or other type of just kind of retaining pins rather than using this whole copper slide, because like I say, 2 of them are already missing. What tool am I going for? It looked kind of weird just to reuse one of the originals. These things are pretty tough to get off. So I think, yeah, I'm bending this before I'm bending that. But if I can at least get it started. That didn't do anything. I don't even know if I can get that around. That'll help. Nope. Just kind of torque it off right there. This is kind of hard to do because I'm balancing this on a playfield. I don't want to make any sudden movements. Alright, so this should slide right off if it's not burred. Now we got to make sure big one goes on the right. There. Here, we'll do this. I don't know if you can even see that on camera, but I'm lining them up. You can't. Maybe you can't see it. I kind of have them lined up from order to smallest to largest. So this comes off, that comes off. Now this can just be cleaned. Let's go ahead and clean this up. I'll do that upstairs. I'm going to clean this off too and pull this old piece of rubbery plastic off too because we're going to put a new strip on there. So that kind of goes like that. We're going to use 2 of the original coils because these look fine. They either work or they don't. I've got 2 of these missing, so I got 2 new ones. So I'm going to go find those. So I need to go clean this, find replacement coil, get 2 coil plungers, and then we're going to come back and keep working. Work, work, work. Alright, we are back, and I think we have everything we need to have it rebuilt without me stepping away or hitting pause again. I think I have some aluminum in my hair. Definitely on my sweater, so we'll throw that over there. Anyway, can't find a wire stripper, surprise, surprise. So I'm going to peel back some insulation. We'll get this coil soldered on here. Somehow. Let's do this. Let me get my iron, which is already plugged in, so I don't have to wait for that. Make sure that doesn't go flying. Red's on the left, so we'll keep it uniform. we already had enough solder on there from the factory. I usually don't solder wearing gloves, so this will be a first time. See how this goes. Yep, I'm listening to music. Took the day off today to do leaf blowing. It's colder than it was supposed to be, and there's still snow on the ground, so I don't know. I have a tree out front that just doesn't want to drop leaves. Just gonna peel that insulation back a little bit if I can. For those of you who don't know, I have a lot of projects going on right now here. So my tools are all over the house. Dave and I counted, so I just cut my glove. Dave and I just counted the other day, I think we're up to 87 pinball machines here. So to track down a tool or a specific tool, it could be a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. You know, being organized is not my expertise, but I'm really good with organizing my parts though. I've been really good at that. I just kind of grab what I need, but when it comes time to like sharing tools all over the place, like how often do you use a needle nose plier to pull back insulation on a wire to solder it on? Not very often. But I spent just a little bit of time looking for wire strippers, couldn't find them. I know exactly where there's two in my truck, but in order to do that I have to pull the truck out of the garage, empty the back, you know. See, this was easier and faster. Let's see if it takes, there she goes. Let's see what we got going on here. I don't like this song. That's not secure enough for my liking. I can do better than that. It's on there. You know what? It's probably fine, but it's not good enough for me. Because if it comes off, guess who gets to put it back on again? That's better. And this middle one, I'm going to assume, gets the most use because that one fried. Or it's probably subject to getting stuck on with a rollover. There we go. That's more better. I think I'm going to unplug that iron right now because we don't need it for a little while. If it was gas powered, I'd be more worried because the cost of natural gas is going up 30%. So we definitely want to change out all the sleeves, so we'll start with that. Don't really need the gloves anymore. That was mostly for the toxic cleaning chemicals that I use. This kit looks pretty self-explanatory. Make sure I don't drop anything. These are the right sleeves? I guess they are. And I took the sleeve off the other one that came with, the new one that came with, because it's the wrong size. They just put like a standard on there like you're going to put it on a pop bumper or something. So sleeves on here, probably not a big deal if you don't change them out, but why not? We got the game apart. That's the right thing to do. It'll probably sound a little bit better. Oops, I got my gloves. See, this is why I normally don't wear gloves. So at this point, I'm going to get these seated. We're going to check the rest of the wires too, because if they're on the verge of coming off, we'll just solder them back on again. So now do I remember, I think the large one goes, when I was looking at it, it's like, oh yeah, the large one goes on the right, but I think See how these two are damaged right here? I'm going to tell you that probably the large one is going to go on this side here. Yeah, because I think it mounts the other direction. But see how these two are broken off right here? And I was going to mention this earlier. I did drill new holes all at the same height across the board because these two are cracked open at the top. This one's okay, but I re-drilled all three of them. So they're going to sit a little bit lower, but at least that way they're the same across the board. But since I know that this one isn't broken, I'm going to say that that's where the large sized one goes on. I think the middle one I can get that one right. So, but the large one is probably going to go on the one that isn't damaged because, like I said, I think the louder the chime, the deeper the chime, the higher point value you get. So it would make sense that that one would get struck the least amount of times. So then this thing goes up here to hold all the coils together. So at this point, I think I'm going to need, no, I don't need to drop the plungers in yet because I can drop those in through the top. But we do want to put this foam on here. New foam. I got the old one scraped off. Everything. Just drop that on there. Ooh, they put plenty of length on there. So we'll put it all the way down to the end. Get those lined up. I'll line them down here first. Looks about right. Well, it isn't about right, that is right. However, I'm not flush with my screw holes. So what's up with that? Don't tell me those go on the other side. No, they shouldn't. That wouldn't make any sense. Yeah, just a little bit of pressure and that pushes it in there. Unless I got something else mangled in there. Doesn't look like it. Just gonna check all these. See, those don't look like they're going to fit in all the way. So these sleeves might have too much material on them. But if I put them on the other side, things are not going to go very well. Unless I have them upside down, which would not make sense. That's right. You probably can't see from here, but I can get at least one of the screws in. I hate wearing gloves when doing this. I'm probably going to have to take my gloves off. Oh, because I just dropped a screw. There it is. That one's going in just fine. Yeah, I think we're good. Just got to give it a little pressure. I'm going to take these gloves off before I get the total dropsies. Garbage can sitting right there. Maybe you guys can even see it. Oh, just a little shy. Look at that, just fine. So we're gonna do, does anyone remember? These go on towards the top, I remember that. That makes the most sense. We gotta do hundreds over here, I don't think I showed you those. Alright. Dump those where you can't see them. Maybe you can't see them from up top. So let me see, here's like that. This is literally heat shrink tubing, so we can drop those. Like you'd think maybe you drop these first, then put the foam on. And of course that is going to go over the top of those holes, which I knew was going to happen, so maybe we'll have to cut new holes. Even for this side, I can put the foam down here. Yep. This one we're going to keep an eye on. Maybe we can just push the shrink tubing out of the way. Let's see. That might be able to, yeah, I might be able to push it down. Or actually, if I kind of compress with the washers, that might work. Now, if I had like 100 chime boxes to rebuild, probably just go buy some heat shrink and some foam, and I don't know where I get those metal washers, those rubber washers from. Foam. Who knows what they're made out of? Just need them to work. So plungers, let's do those. We have 2. I need 1 more. Right here. All right. These 2 came from Steve Young. This one came with the game. I think I might have 2 more floating around here in the bottom of the game, but I don't care for looking for them right now, so I ordered some new ones. They're exactly the same. So if I find the other 2, I'll just throw them in my stock. Let's get that foam on there. Then, so undamaged one's probably going to be this. Yep. Now the hole that was drilled in here was off by a little bit. So you can see it's just a little bit lopsided, not a big deal. And it's going to be struck on this side, so if it's twisted just a little bit, I mean, like I said, it's very forgiving. I didn't put the X on there, so that's my alibi. You can see where it was, here you can see the little damage from where it keeps getting hit. So technically, oh, it looks like they even flipped them over too at one point. It was used on both sides because you got some wear right here. And if that foam dried out, you got some little cuts to where it kept banging into the, box. So there really is no right side up or upside down depending on which has more damage to make it look cosmetically more pleasant. So let's see if these little washers here can push down on the heat shrink tubing. Looks like it will. Yes. So they'll still get a good sound. I'm going to grab some zippy ties because, like I say, 2 of these are missing, and I don't like those. They don't make it, to me, they don't make any sense. Well, there's a right way to do it. I don't care. I'm doing it the right way that works for me and is functional. Now, since they are compressed a little bit more, you might not get that original twang, that that ringing in there. I mean, it's going to be maybe a little bit more muffled than factory. And I did this on my, oh, I should get, that's right, I've got a couple more Williams games of my own downstairs that I need to shop out. And I want to do the same thing. But since you got that new foam, it's going to be nice and compressed. So, don't have my side cutters, but I'll cut these zip ties off later. I just kind of go over the top and leave them kind of loose, but yeah, it's got, oh, see, that's what I forgot. I forgot to put these pieces on here. We can put them on. I mean, at this point in the game, no pun intended. Actually, I think I don't know if it'd be worse or not, but I think it gives it more of a twang if we leave these off. Because, I mean, this whole piece right here is designed for this guy here, but if I leave them off and leave these zip ties like this, I think it makes these chime bars a little bit more relaxed, and honestly, I think you're going to get some better sound. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put this on here. We're going to use the zip ties like this, and I'm going to leave these in the machine. I'm not being lazy, I promise. I truly think you're going to get better sound by just doing it like this. Because this is going to absorb more. Or we could start a thread on pin side and argue about it until somebody leaves the hobby. Then you've truly won the argument. I just like pinball. I like doing my thing. And that's all I have to say about that. We got the plungers in there, right? Yeah. See, that sounds good. That is a little bit more of a ring. That's because it hasn't been compressed yet. But that's really close. Get that tubing to come through. There we go. And that foam will kind of adjust to its new habitat, if you will. I have a sneeze coming on here. If I go, if I tighten this down, it kind of gives it more room to. See, that's generally speaking, they bounce a little bit more like that. But again, since those are broken off, no choice there. I know for sure you can't get this old chime box, and if you can, it's probably really expensive. I don't think that's going to come off. That's not going to come off. I always worry about things I probably shouldn't. Again, when these games go, I don't want to see them again. I say that in the kindest way. Because that means they're working right. They're reliable. Got some really good music on right now. I have to go find my phone so I can thumbs up this song. It's a song I've never heard before. I won't tell you what genre. It's a surprise. I listen to all sorts of different music. Again, these original standoffs are so mangled. Probably better that we're using nylon rather than metal so it doesn't do more damage. Cool, so I gotta cut these off whenever I get my zippy ties going. Set my solder over here. So, technically we're not done, basically we're done. Cool. I was wanting to do that for a while. There it is. It feels better. So yeah, we'll include these with the game if those ever want to be added back on. But like I say, the way those holes are kind of redone, it just doesn't make much sense to use these again. So like that. Start collecting our garbage. Not really. These nylon pieces are probably still good, but so many of them are missing. And a couple sleeves. And a hunk of copper that's probably worth a lot of money now. Hopefully these economy jokes are going to age well. Alright, so tools. Didn't need half of these, even though I used them all. Set these over here. Now I gotta bug Dave about those pop bumper pieces. We got those selected and cut out. I went with red. I thought that looked the best. My game has the really bright yellow ones on there. Maybe I'll do I'm not gonna do a side-by-side comparison. I don't feel like dragging my game up from the basement. I'm gonna set this back down below. Now I went with a red that generally matches this. Like I say, the game that I own, it matches this yellow, and that's too vibrant, too bright, it's too distracting. But mine, or for this game here, we're going to do a red. So it kind of goes in line with everything else. I think it looks better. So I've been working on the playfield. I got all the posts here cleaned up. I got to get some lane guides, so that's what I'm going to do next while I blow my nose so I don't mucus all over the playfield. Yep. So 30 minutes, we're doing good. All right, now I'm starting to eat. I got to keep working though. I'm not behind. I just don't want to get that way. These we're going to replace. I love replacing these. One of my favorite things to do. Where's that garbage at? Yep, right into the garbage here. Look at this. Yeah. Having peanuts and non-alcoholic beer. I ran into Athletic Brewing Company online, and I tried out a couple of their beers. I usually order 2 different flavors at a time. I find out that I really like one and another one I'm just kind of neutral about. I'm going to grab a cup for those. I think this is a garbage bin. No, I see a new sleeve in there, so it's not a garbage bin. I need a cup. Light bulbs incandescent. Who am I kidding? Garbage. Now, if I was smart, I would have put the camera on the other side. Now, these have already gotten a bath, so these are clean. However, that playfield still needs a little bit of help. This whole arch I already took off, cleaned it, polished it underneath. This metal piece, I polished that. We spent maybe about an hour on that alone. We as in me, Pinball Outpost, collective, the pinball consciousness. There's some foreign hairs here. Probably from some really stressed out operator. Got a piece of plastic here, we want to get that all cleaned up. Speaking of getting cleaned up, I need to do that around here. What's new? One of these has a good nozzle, one of them doesn't. Get all that nicotine and dirt and things you don't want on a pinball off of here. Yeah, Athletic Brewing Company is the one that I found, and I'm 33 years old right now, and I've enjoyed drinking regular beer, scotch, whiskey, bourbon, whatever. I love the taste. I don't care too much for the intoxicating feeling, but I've just noticed since I've been drinking non-alcoholic beer, I've been sleeping better. My mood's been better. I don't know, is my physical appearance a little bit better? I mean, I'm not qualified to answer that, but based on feedback I get at work, I would say yes. But I think it's a proven fact, too. Aesthetically, you become more attractive when you don't have alcohol in your system on a regular basis. Not that I care about what I... Trust me, if I cared about my appearance, I wouldn't be looking like this right now, you know. I'll go back eventually and have regular beer, but just to kind of recharge everything. Right now I'm thinking about a cloth that's up in my laundry room that I should be using on this instead of a paper towel. posts back in. Get that all cleaned up there too. I'm just kind of focusing on a different region. So we're going to do this little section here and we'll clean down here more and put that back together. Oh yeah, you can't see it from this angle. This is really nice and shiny here. I'm trying to get all those hairs to come with the cloth. I had a switch here that was maladjusted and that was causing things to pull in right away. Let me go grab that cloth because I hate paper towel because it gets all bunched up, then you gotta throw it away, start over, blah blah blah. Surprise, plastic set. I want to start getting, oh, somebody's calling me now. Let's see who it is. Newburgh, Wisconsin. How much you want to bet that's spam, but I also have a lot of customers in Wisconsin. Or it could be a pinball machine call. Let's see who it is. Good afternoon. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, what's going on? Okay. Well, since the room has already been installed, we need to get it above the penetration panel. I'm just wondering how there's going to be room to fit it in there at this point. So, I mean, the system's already installed. I don't know if that room's gone live yet, but that might be something you'd have to talk with the department with first before that gets added in there. Yeah. Right. Neither are we, so... But I think it'd just be a matter of coordinating with him. I have the system, basically I have the power supply in the room right now, so everything's functioning as it should be. But yeah, if we want to get that added. I don't need a waveguide since I already pulled my fiber through there. We just have to get that filter mounted somewhere on that wall by the equipment room. Well, I gave a filter to Dan, so I don't. Have you talked to him recently? I think he gave it to. I don't know who he gave it to, but I think we. Yeah, check in with Dan because I know he handed that filter off to somebody, and whoever has that. I have no idea. I think he's already packed up and left there. So. He's with Siemens. Do you have his phone? I have his phone number here if that helps. Is this your number here? Let me do this. Let me find this. Let me make sure I do this before I hang up, otherwise I'll forget. So, Dan Weathers, copy that, and this is your cell phone number. So I'm gonna go to the phone call. Actually, I don't think I can do that until we hang up. Never mind. Yeah, as soon as we hang up, your number will pop up on my call history, and then I can just paste that in there. Awesome. Well, hey, give me a call if you need a hand with anything or need some guidance on that. But yeah, I know he had the filter. I think he passed that off to someone. I just don't know who that someone is. But if you... No, it looks like... I'd say it's about like stack 3 hockey pucks on top of each other, and that's roughly what it looks like. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Exactly. Yep. Well, I don't know. It depends on what you guys do. If you drill into an existing piece of shielding up there or not, I don't know what it looks like up there. So. Works there. Yeah, I forgot to hit pause. Boring conversation for work. I picked a good day to take off, let's put it that way. 2 calls in the cities, 1 for Fargo, Mankato. Oh my goodness. Oof. So, plastic set. We're cleaning them. We're going to start cleaning that plastic set up and then put the top piece on. And then I think I'm going to go outside and do some leaf blowing because that's half the reason I took today off. I had some glass cleaner around here too. Hey, it's right here. Look at that. I'm guessing these top pieces should be part of where we're working right now. We got really lucky, or the customer got really lucky with this guy here is in one piece. That's kind of a high abuse area. I actually think the entire plastic set is undamaged. I mean, we have a little bit of warping up here, which is expected with all those incandescent lights over the years, but we're going to get these two pieces cleaned up and put that section back together. Making good progress. I don't know if you guys can see me or not, but looks like I'm doing something on the edge of the camera. So we got that piece cleaned up. I didn't adjust my cameras because we're only doing this for a couple seconds. Get that one cleaned up here. We got to get some LED bulbs cooking too. They're not cooking, they're nice and cool. A little bit of extra dirt built up there. Uh oh, here comes another sneeze. Maybe not. I had some more LEDs coming, but let's see what happened. We got 1, 2. Plenty of LEDs for now. But when I run out, so that's not good. And this guy, I bet you, goes over there. We have that other piece that goes back. I don't want to scratch. Notice I'm setting anything that's like sharp or pointy. Set that on a cloth in the playfield. I don't want to scratch the playfield at all. I think this one's right. Find a clean spot on my cloth. These nozzles. I do not like the nozzles on these things. Sprayway makes a good glass cleaner, but this crazy clean, however, is not a very. Does not have a good nozzle. I love the product, but I don't like the nozzles. Stay. Get that cleaned up. And we're going to go through and this is not a wax. This is just a cleaner. We'll go through and wax the playfield. That's kind of the last thing I do. Oh, we still got to clean. Still got to take these apart and clean them too. That's an hour right there. I'm more worried about getting underneath because that stuff's going to be covered up pretty soon. We have clean posts right there. What else do we need? Rubber rings. I am noticing as I've been working with those silicone rings more, they're not as forgiving. Like you can be off by one size on a traditional rubber ring, whatever they make those out of. And like I say, you can be one size off, and it's okay because you can stretch it or have it be more. But if you're off on the silicone rings, you're going to get in trouble because it's going to be either too tight or too loose. All right, we need LED bulbs in here. I gotta text Dave too and see where those circles are. I think I mentioned that already. Now I'm gonna see. Yeah, one of those has like a little. This isn't right. This can't. How can that go over there? There we go. Yeah, I hate when the plastics. This is on Doozy. They have that a lot because the plastic. You know, you got holes up here, and then it's dependent on the rubber. I like to put all my rubber rings on and my post on, and then just drop the plastics on. I hate how they have that where you have to work the rubber rings with the posts with the plastics. So, just looking at this, I do have to do part of that. I have to work the posts in with the rubbers and the lane guides, but that's not a big deal. And I find my 1/4 inch, which just happens to be on top. So this one for sure has to be tightened down. And we have to work that in with this one here. So we're going to get a single side. So I'm feeling maybe a 2 inch or 1.5 inch right here. See that? I can't just go putting that down. Two and 3/4, that's way too big. There's a 3, one wrong direction. 1 1/4. Here's a 2. A 2 might work, but again, these are silicone. I might have to go to 2.5. Yep, 2.5 for sure. Uh-oh. 2.5, is that what I said? We're probably going to need 2 of them. Because I bet you that's going to be... Maybe that one's a 2. That might be... maybe 2. Let's try it. Let's try it. But I think 2... Do they make 2 1/4? I don't think so. We'll try this one though. There's kind of... Seems like there's more of an art with putting silicone rings on than... Oh, that's too loose. Might have to go back down to a 2. This will kind of keep on standby. I don't think they make a 2 1/4. Oh, somebody's calling me now again. It better not be him. Uh-oh. It's the manager of the site. Hey Brian, how's it going? All right, big decisions are being made, and I'm off the hook. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, well, 2 inches is perfect. I mean, it's a little bit tight, but you know, 2.5 is unacceptable. That's just going to get stuck in the ball. You know, I mean, it's a little bit more stiff than maybe a regular rubber ring, but it's not bad. I mean, I'm very happy with it. So we had 2 here. We're probably looking at maybe 1, 1.5. Or 1, I got quarters down here, 1 1/4. No, that's too small. I can just eyeball it and tell you 1 1/4 is too small. Rather than bending over all the time, I'm going to set these bags somewhere else. One would say 1 1/4 is too small. Let's try 1.5. Probably gonna need 2 of them. Make sure those are tightened down. Perfect. And that needs a regular screw and a post. Up there. Nice. Alright. Probably the same situation over here. Let's get some cleaner on there. Found a little spot of dirt, which no one will probably ever see. I'll know about it. There we go. goes there, that goes there. More. Alright, that's in. Single side. Let me try that 1.5 again. What do you think? Oh yeah. We'll start on this side. Tighten that down before I stretch it. It's almost tightened down all the way, not quite. You can always, so you can always adjust those switches later, but not really. Easier to do it right now. What did I say that was 2? It almost looks like that's wider. We'll see. Yeah, it's gonna be, I can just tell. It's the same. So put that in there. Got our LED in there. There's no going back from that once you get the plastic on. Another post, 1/4 inch. Already cleaned there, I can't remember. I knew I did, but do a little bit better job there. There we go. I'm picky. Yeah, that's gonna be plenty tight. If I use 2 hands, I can get it just the right amount of tightness. Don't even need a driver. Don't want to over tighten it. Just like everything. Oh, that's really nice. Before we put the plastic down, we got this little under plastic. I think we got to do this guy because that's part of the upper. This is just a post. Post rubber, I should say. Yeah, it's a post, so everybody knows that, but the rubber piece is just a post. So we gotta get post rubbers out. One here. And I think this one here is also. Now, do you need to put one here? No. I think they did at the factory. I don't know. There's no sense in having. I don't even know why there's a post here. Do you? Maybe to protect the plastic from ball impacts. Now, do we remember which one? It's this one here. I just got to figure out. Is that it? Yeah, that was it. Now those nuts, I still want to get those all cleaned up, so we'll just let it sit there for now. Got that all cleaned up here. See what I did there? I knew something was up. This I'm looking forward to taking apart, getting that all nice and polished. Suppose that's a more proper way of doing it. Takes the guesswork out of putting it back in. I'm missing an inline guide. Where did it go? Sweet. Look at that. I can shake the whole machine just by grabbing onto that piece. It's not going anywhere. Get that cleaned up? Yes, we did. Yeah, here's that little extra stud there. So that means I need a long screw. And we'll start with that if I can find it. It's probably going to be in this bucket of hardware. I see you. Uh-oh. Wrong kind of post. I need a Phillips, just like that one right there. Start with that one. Well, let's keep going. So now I can kind of use this area up here as storage. So I kind of like right here on up is cleaned. Here on down is not. This area is here cleaned right here. So I'll put this back down. Maybe I will bring up my Superstar. Let's take these guys off. I think I must have cleaned under. Yeah, these are already back here, so I cleaned under there. And not over here for sure. I can definitely tell a big difference. There's some cleaner from many decades ago. Love this crazy clean. You don't screw around with it. targets nice and clean. Can't get these anymore. I don't think. Maybe you can always buy generics if you had to. Stand-up targets generally don't break. Get everything. Get that back on here. Was that the one right there? I think it was. So I'm guessing a 3 or 3.5 inch on these guys right there. I'm thinking, geez, I don't know. 3.5? Yeah, probably. It could be a hand model after this. So this one's going pretty tough, which is good. All right, LEDs. Those are 2s. Yep. And I'm betting 3.5. I'm looking at the 3s right now, and it's it might fit. Let me tighten this one down, since if we're doing one, we're doing both. I'm going to leave this apart because I'm going to drop, well, actually I don't have to. No, I don't have to do that because I'm going to drop this from below. LEDs. These might actually be too big. Oh no, 3.5 it is. That's enough of those. Yeah, like 4, was it 4s or 4.5 on the Williams high speed from the 80s. Putting those back in the big bag. That playfield looks really nice on camera and in person. I like how you can see the reflection. Well, I can't hover my mouse over here, but I'm just looking at this picture right here with that rubber ring. Can you see where I'm pointing with the mouse? No, you can't. I'm not going to set my beverage on that game because it's not my game. Yeah. Look at that. I would be willing to bet this is the last time with these silicone rings. This is the last time this game ever gets rubber ring. I mean, unless maybe 100 years from now this game will still be working. It's theoretically possible. Maybe 100 years from now, after re-rubber the game with these silicone rings, they're just gonna last. Look at all the profound things I'm saying in the middle of my video. I say dance like nobody's watching. I'm restoring this game like everybody's watching, you know. So remember the 1/4 inches go on the front. We could just look at the plastic for that. But I just want to get it cleaned up. Again, we're not going to worry about the piece down below because we're going to drop that out. I can just see the dirt melting off that metal. Look at that. Not even going to get on that metal down below under the playfield because, like I say, we're doing the sandpaper treatment on that. I should send that guy a text. That's what I'm going to do today is I'm going to send him a text, the owner. Still have that issue with the game shutting off. I'm going to leave that in here. So you take that out and put it back in. If I can get it sufficiently cleaned while it's in the playfield, I'm not going to pull it out because this is subject to a lot of, well, it's not subject to a lot of abuse because there's another bracket there, but if this thing gets deformed or it comes out easily, that could be bad news bears for everybody. Just put those back in for reference. So I think right here there's like one rubber ring that goes, sorry I'm blocking the view. I think there's one, let me change the camera. There's one spot where the rubber ring just kind of gets redirected right around here like a horseshoe. Let me do this. How's that look? Yeah, it looks better because we're working down there now. Sorry, I had it pointed the other direction. I may even go back further. That looks good. You're not going to see this part right here from that camera, but we're going to be done with that part in like 2 seconds. As soon as I find the plastics and clean them and put them back on. Am I missing a plastic? Because there's like an odd number. 1, 2, yeah, there's, we got the big ones and the little ones. I got the big ones. How could I be missing a, there it is, okay. Big ones go on first. For these plastics, I always use glass cleaner, not the Crazy Clean, because I think the Crazy Clean would start taking the artwork off. I'm surprised I haven't had to change the light out yet. Looks like I'm about to. All the dirt off the edges. Look at that. And we're going to be in the dark in a minute. Get that battery changed out. Oh, that's not much better. That's not going to last forever. We got 2 more sitting on the charger that should be charged by now. Cerveza Atletica. It's like the Corona version for Athletic Brewing Company. Well, I'm going to pause real quick and clean some hardware. All right. In my left hand here, I have all the nuts for the plastics. and the rest of the star posts. They are dripping wet, so I'm just going to tap them off here. Not a big deal to get water on the playfield, but try not to. Getting plenty on my carpet though. Oh, I did pull the old rubber. I don't know where these go. I pulled the old rubber off of this right here to show you what I was talking about. So, kind of like that. Shaped like a boomerang. I'm surprised it didn't come back to me. These you can almost finger tighten them and be good. But we'll get a nut driver on there. Maybe not. Yeah, I want to. We're not going to use a handle though, because that's too much torque. That's going to be a 3/8. What's this guy here? 5/16. That looks too big, but I bet you it's right. That's because it is. Just a little turn, finger tightened all the way. That one needed some help. Just wiggle the plastic a little bit. That way if the ball hits it, it's got some travel. If it's completely tight, plastic's going to crack. That's almost too tight. Do we do that one? Nope. And a mouse up here. Go for a paper towel. All right. So I did unpause it, right? Okay. Yeah. Garbage. Where's my garbage? One more. Don't really need this caliper here anymore. I'll slide this up. I gotta find where I put that. So I had that out and I was playing with it. That could be anywhere by now. It's one of the first things I took out. That one's a little bit sticky. Gotta make sure these are all loose. It's a big part of the game for advancing the stars. So this way already, did I already clean down here? Looks, I don't want to do it again. I gotta remember what's where. But if I look at the plastics, oh no, those are clean. I had a cleaning cloth. That's not it. There it is. Yeah, I did clean under here because that's a lot worse. We'll do it again just to make sure. It's kind of interesting because this switch has two. Oh, because it has an action. You get points and then you get an up post. this little guy pops up here, so that's why there's 2 switch closures. Or no, I'm sorry, that's the center post. Get around behind that switch. And the nail. And we'll defer to the plastics to see what we need. Looks like all of them are going to be the ones for the T-nuts on top. Now there's 4 adjustments right here. I'm going to leave it alone. Personally, I like to have a little bit of slop in there, but I'm going to leave. It looks like they only had 3 at the factory, then maybe, I don't know if that 4th one was added custom, or if that was part of the 4th one too. Because they have 3 together and 1 alone. Over here they have 3 together and 1 alone. Well, if it wasn't, it wouldn't have fit. The way the plastic works, or maybe it does work that way because there's no room for a nut on top, so maybe it doesn't matter where you have it. I'll explain what I mean in a bit. Or I shouldn't say I'll explain what I mean, I'll clarify. I already explained what I mean. Is that all? No, a little bit more. Didn't want to overdo it if it was overdoable, which it wasn't. We were good. Some of them have seams on here with the dirt that really gets ingrained in there, so I always try to make sure they're spun in a way where they don't show. Now I'm missing, I think they're already on the plastics. I gotta take them off because I don't know what matches and what doesn't. Like for example, this one goes here. Now we're gonna have to take these off because I need to know what size rubber rings go on. I can't have these plastics getting in the way. Phillips. 1/4 inch. Where'd my 5/16 go that I just had laying around here? You guys are probably looking at it right now, yelling and screaming through your computer screen. Now you know what I'm looking for. There it is. My 1/4 inch doesn't reach, so I gotta pliers it off of here. And 1/4 inch. See what I mean? I could put it on like this and just clean the plastic with the post metal piece on, but then, like I say, I can't start trying out rubbers as easily as I could otherwise. Still gotta do LEDs in the back glass. I want to say 3 inch. is my guess. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, 3.5 is going to be too big. So 3 is right. Make sure we get proper closures. More importantly, that they're open at rest. That never got cleaned upstairs, so we'll clean it individually. So these go on the top. Getting close to being done. I remember when I had my game, I shopped it out in one night, or I just put, or no, it was already shopped out, and I just put LEDs in it or something. I don't remember. Get some of this garbage out of the way here. Oops, did I cut the camera? Not really. I suppose I could angle that down a little bit, huh? Remember, the flipper bats are not aligned or adjusted yet. They're just kind of a retainer. I feel like I cleaned this side already. Hopefully it's getting warm outside. Probably not, but I gotta get out there. What time is it? If it's before 2 o'clock, I'm definitely in good shape. 2:07. Gotta leave at 5:30 for acupuncture. Still gotta go under that apron too. Normally I do that first, but maybe did I already do? No, I don't think I already did that. We're gonna have to double check for sure. Something just moved. Oh, those rollover buttons are really cleaning up well. Now these are like mushy, kind of mushy rubbers that I don't think we can get anymore. This is getting a little crisp. Well, not really crispy, but there was the fire right underneath here. Speaking of which, make sure my iron's unplugged, which it is. Don't want to have any fires. See, maybe if that would, I don't think that's going to clean that up. I don't want to dehydrate it. I'm worried that some of these spray away chemicals can kind of dehydrate rubber. So we're kind of avoiding that. Not spraying directly on there. Around. It's not polished yet, but it looks good. And then remember the non-nut posts go on top. Now with it this high, I can guarantee you that's a guaranteed ball save. But if you go down here, and the hole's exposed now, we'll keep it like that because that's pretty much a guaranteed ball save if that post goes up. The way I have mine set up, if you put a little effort in, you can save it, but if you just watch it, it could go out. I like a bit more of a challenge. Thought that light would have died by now. Down to 1 bar. Okay, let's take the posts off of these plastics and put it on the right way. 5/16. Yeah, if you over tighten your plastics and they get abused, you get little cracks in the plastic like this does right here. Or is that just a scratch? That is just a scratch. Nice. 'Tis but a scratch. So we officially have an uncracked plastic set. That's good. Quarter-inch. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And when I get my handle on here. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I'll find it. Or will I? Oh, it's over. Okay, we got one over there. Okay, missing 2. That sounds pretty logical because I got 2 right over here. If I was missing 1, I'd be more worried, but if I got them in pairs. Should have 4 left. Look at that. Boom, 4. That one needs to be cleaned. There's 5 right here, but there's one on the playfield, on the little rail right here. That goes right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we'll get it all put back. Just the main plastic set and rubbers will be put back together by the end of this video. I won't turn it on, you'll have to wait for the next video. Gotta get on with that yard work. Let's see. What else do I need to do? I'm going to clean the rest of these guys here. I have to go upstairs and clean. What else do I need to do to finish this playfield? I got to get a glass of water. My throat's getting sore from talking or not talking. I'll be right back. All right. We got that new battery in? Yeah. All right, good. Almost done. I think I stated that already. I'm thinking maybe probably 2.5 inches on those. Let's try it. Maybe well, those are 3 right here, I thought, so that'd be too big. It might be too small. 2 3/4. That's right. We got that special size for slingshots. Got plenty of those stocked up. Oh, yeah, we won't have the pop bumpers on either, so. But we'll get the plastic set, rubber rings, plastic set back on. No, maybe not, because I want to do the Mylar and the pop bumpers before I do this. But everything else will be done. There we go. I can just tell it's going to work great. There we go. I'm going to stretch it a little bit tighter around these sides because it doesn't matter. We want it looser over here. There we go. Beautiful. Until that's been cleaned. I thought of something I just wanted to write down back here as a reminder. I just got to write something down on the whiteboard before I forget. All right, so we are coming in on an hour and a half, so that's pretty par for the course for videos. So like I say, for the 3rd or 4th time, we'll get these plastics put on and get outside and do some yard work. That one's cleaned. Should move that. I've been meaning to move that way. Sometimes you guys don't tell me when stuff's blocking the camera, so I don't know. We got Firepower 2, guy wants to have it redone. I normally don't do the EMs. I normally don't do solid states, but I might do that. And then there's a guy in the northern, he's kind of like in the northwest part of the Twin Cities, or it's kind of outside of the Twin Cities, maybe like an hour and a half drive. Just moved to the Twin Cities recently. He wants, maybe he's watching this, but he has a whole lineup of games that need minor adjustments. And as you can see, I generally don't do home calls. For obvious reasons, this stuff takes forever to do. And don't know, but if they've already been gone through and they just need minor stuff, maybe I'll do it. But generally, I've never done that before. I like to just pick away at stuff. Hey, look at that. I have the right number of nuts left. Or not. Because I still got that one to do. Should have 7 then. Oh, yeah, look. I got 7 right here, too. 8. Oh, wow, I got more. Yeah. There's probably a couple stragglers laying around. Let's put those right here. I like the shooter lane for just storing stuff when you're in the middle of something. I gotta get this house cleaned up. I'm trying to maybe do a party first week of December. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I hope it does happen. We'll be having people won't be playing doozy. I was gonna have it leave last weekend, but I'm still finding some more minor problems. But some more things need adjusting. Now you can see how they have a huge like loop oval cut out on that plastic that allows you to move that post quite a bit. They designed that at the factory for you to be able to do that. Yeah, those pop bumpers are ready to go back in the game. They're all rebuilt, cleaned up. Just gotta go in. I can do light bulbs in the back. Too tight. Too tight. Got 2 left, 3 left. Hey, that's perfect. Just how many I need. Like I said, we're gonna wait on this because I want to do all the mylar and stuff. So I have the exact proper, I'll just take these screws out for now. I have the right amount of hardware when I finish. Drop that, put the plastic on top. These are the 2, we're going to put the ones in the back box. So let me grab those. Two SMDs versus 1 SMDs. Don't ask me what SMD stands for. I'm sure somebody watching this knows. I sure don't. Look at that. I like this game. A lot of people like Superstar. It's a game I've never heard of a couple of years ago, but very recently, the more people I talk to, I guess it's really popular. A lot of people like it. Oh, somebody's calling me. Ugh. Work related, I'm off. I'm technically off work today, so sorry, buddy. What else is up? Oh, I got new pop-upper screws for this game. Right here. Ew, can't see those very well. more hardware there. Oh, sucks to picture to Dave. Ooh, that looks really good behind the camera lens. Doesn't it? Dave, where are you? Alright, are we going to do light bulbs, or I should get outside and do yard work, but I'd rather work on pinball. Plus, I'd like to have the game lit up for doing the lighting on the back box. Any other final parting thoughts that I have? I don't know. Hour and 42 minutes. That's just over average. Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm happy. So how do we do this? Just stop.